Copy. Oh, sorry about that. We're having IFB issues. Right now, you can see heavy traffic down there. Sheriff's Department, they know what they're doing. Trained professionals. They've got their guys on the ground to back off, and hopefully this driver in this BMW will slow down. Start just driving a little bit more with a little bit more safety and just stop doing all this stuff that we're seeing right there, these extremely dangerous moves. Now, he was on the freeway for some point. Looks like we're making our way back onto a freeway right now. Almost took out that gore point. And, you know, those are the things. When we see these reckless drivers go against, go up against the curb like that, hit a gore point, start using those emergency lanes, the first thing that comes in my mind is hopefully he picks up a flat tire. That'll bring this thing to an end very, very quickly. Now I can tell you we made our way onto the 605 freeway where we're going to be northbound on the 605. I got the map up there for you guys, but this vehicle continuing to move along out here. And again, now they're talking about possibly giving this to the California Highway Patrol, but they have to get their guys in position. So the helicopter, the sheriff's helicopter, staying above, high speeds that you can see right there. Burglary suspects in that vehicle. Don't know if there's some other than just the driver, but right now, still very high speeds this morning. At least we're on the freeway, no red lights, no intersections. Very, very dangerous. I'm not saying that the danger has just gone away by any means, but when at least we're not running those red lights. We don't have folks are driving, just coming through an intersection and having this guy barreling through there. Right now, though, we're on the freeway. Everybody's going that same direction. Speeds up there where we actually get pushing 90 miles an hour. We haven't seen those triple digits for that vehicle. Not saying that it can't do it. That seems to be an older, bigger BMW. I don't know if that's a 5 or a 7, but the helicopter, the sheriff's helicopter, definitely overhead. They're keeping an eye on this. They're calling it out. I believe they are giving the heads up to California Highway Patrol. If they're going to relinquish it, that's a different story because that has to be an official, like, okay, guys, it's yours. The helicopter may stay with it until the until the California Highway Patrol helicopter can join it. Right now, though, these suspects still fleeing high speeds, northbound 605 in the Azusa area, and again, just keeping moving the same direction as traffic. We haven't seen him cut anybody off. That's a huge plus. But as far as law enforcement, nobody's really behind them. And that's one of those things where, the guy in that, or the suspect behind that wheel should just kind of look around, calm down a little bit, and maybe just kind of get your foot out of it. We understand that you are running, but you know what? Let's try to be safe. Let's hope nobody gets hurt. Even on the freeway, we've seen these things go south. We've seen people lose their lives. We definitely don't want to see that this morning. Yep. Roxy, Tony, this really is what I always see on the freeways. People are driving along. You're going, the California speed limit, 70 miles an hour, and then you look in the mirror, everything's clear, and this guy's coming down at 100 miles an hour. You're not expecting that, and that's where those accidents happen. This driver definitely probably amped up right now, adrenaline, looking in the rearview mirror, trying to figure out maybe where he's, whatever that person is trying to do, and not paying 100% attention to just the driving. I see the blinker going on this every now and then, which is kind of unusual just for a BMW in itself. But right now you can see this vehicle making his way northbound 605. Everybody knows the 605 kind of dead ends into the 210. There's a lot of options out there. He can take the 210. He can make his way out into the Azusa area. Right now, though, still on the 605. These major lane changes, back and forth, kind of gives me the idea that he does not, or the suspect does not know where to go exactly. But again, law enforcement up above, calmer heads are prevailing. They're making plans. They're trying to get ahead of this. But right now, it's just hopefully he does not collide with or injure anybody as this pursuit continues. Looks like we're doing that transition right now. If I had to guess, I would say that we're doing the transition to the eastbound 210 freeway. Looking up ahead right now, I can tell you that it's pretty much what you see right there. Nothing's really stopped. It isn't bumper to bumper by any means, but this is something unusual right there. California Highway Patrol. Hello, and that's not a coincidence. I can tell you that this officer was waiting for the suspect to make his way onto the freeway. This is a plus in a way. If the California Highway Patrol engages, which this officer seems to be doing, lights and sirens will at least give some folks the heads up something is happening, and everybody knows. You hear the lights and sirens, you move off to the right, or at least you're going to be looking around to see what's going on, and that's going to give a lot of these folks the heads up. Hopefully nobody's going to get injured, but the speeds, take a look at the speeds, guys. Once he saw that law enforcement, now we're up into 115. We're well into the triple digits. So now that BMW really starting to move. Carpool lane wide open, Tony. You can take a look. You were asking about the traffic. I'm going to do a little bit of a wider shot. The sun's coming up. Everybody's driving there. They've got the sun in their eyes. My pilot this morning, Jeff, is also having to deal with that as well. But that's going to give that driver some issues, and of course everybody else down there as well. They got the sunrise coming up. I'm sure the visors are down. People are probably squinting, and this guy driving in the emergency lane at 100 miles an hour. I oh. No, I was just taking a peek right there. Actually, the radio where I was listening to the arrow, meaning the sheriff's helicopter. I can't hear them right now, so I was kind of wondering if they actually that one California Highway Patrol unit actually was told to back off, and it appears they may have been. So once again, I won't lose the car. That gives you that idea again that law enforcement is very, very concerned about the public safety. And now they have nobody behind this vehicle. So that means that there is no lights and sirens. This bad guy looking in the rearview mirror, not seeing anybody, but still continuing to drive at close to 100 miles an hour through traffic this morning, eastbound 210 freeway up in the San Gabriel Valley area. And at this point, law enforcement, they have the helicopter. I'm sure they're keeping an eye on it. But as far as guys on the ground, lights and sirens, nobody's behind him. So this person right now really just running from his own demons. I'm glad you clarified that, because I wasn't sure. We were on some other story on it this morning. There was a short pursuit, but they lost that vehicle. So this is actually a different one. And that's the thing. Law enforcement, they've got to kind of balance it out. How dangerous is it? How dangerous is this suspect? Well, this suspect, very dangerous. There you go, Tony. We are really starting to get into some traffic, and nobody wants to see this. Even if this guy just bumps or swaps paint with any of these other vehicles, that's still a collision. That's still somebody's day ruined, but that's minor compared to what could happen. Right now, though, this driver of this BMW wanted for burglary, as you said, residential burglary in the Walnut area, still continuing to drive well faster than the speed limit. At least he's slowing down a little bit. Right now, though, we're still on the 210 freeway. We've got eyes on it. I'm sure the law enforcement is watching as well, and I can tell you that I know they're going to plan something when this comes to an end. Hopefully this vehicle will just stop and the guy will just jump out. Law enforcement will magically appear, and this guy will go into custody. safety is the number one priority always for law enforcement, and that is safety of that suspect, safety of the public, safety of their other law enforcement. That is the biggest concern. And you know, in these type of situations, I'm sure somebody somewhere in law enforcement, hopefully watching our picture, seeing this vehicle still driving at 100 miles an hour.